Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, and happy Sunday. It's so good to see everybody here today. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to start with saying hi, actually, to all of the great folks from Jubilee Voices that are in the room with us today, just so you get to hear them. Hi, Harold and Andrea and Christina and Paulette and Arthuretta and Khadijah and Jim, and make sure I'm not forgetting anyone, Jackie. Hello to all of you guys. We're super glad you're with us today. And hello to Cecily, who is actually one of the people who works very closely with Jubilee Voices at Washington Revels. Hello, Deborah in Kentucky, and Toby in California, and Pete in Florida, and Jane in England, and Mary Eagle in Western North Carolina, and Dennis in British Columbia, and the Peter half of Janet and Peter in Toronto, and Tom in Maryland, and Beryl, Colin's mom, in Chicago, Isabel in Florida, and Adele in the Washington, D.C. area, Kathy in Virginia, Busy Graham of Carpe Diem Arts, great to see you today, Martha in Oregon, Carolyn in Idaho, Margot, I don't know you, but we're glad to have you with us today, and Steve in Baltimore, glad to have you again, Bonnie in Idaho, Annette in California, Karen in Arizona, Alex in Tokyo, back with us again 3 days in a row. We love it. Great to see you today. It's 1 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan, and we're really glad you're staying up for us. Beth in Kentucky, Dan in Virginia, Judy in Ohio, Susan, nice to have you, Lisa in Indiana, glad to see you again, Lynn in Connecticut, and Mary Jean, great to see you, Hindi in Toronto, Deborah, great to have you, Caroline, Diane, and lots of people without video, but big hellos and hugs to all of you, Kelly and Terry, and Julia, and Jeannie, and many, many others. And also a big hello and welcome to everybody on Facebook Live. We're glad that you are joining us today. Welcome officially to the Washington Revels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song. I'm Jo Rossi. I am the Community Engagement Director at Washington Revels, also on the board of Carpe Diem Arts. And a quick note, if you're new to us, please pop your state or your country into the chat box here or on Facebook Live so we know where you're coming from. Yesterday, we had folks in from Omaha, Minnesota, and a lot of other further away states, which we're always glad to know. We're here every day, as many of you know, 12 noon, building community, singing together, easing isolation, anxiety, and thinking a lot about what's going on in our nation and the world at large. And lots of it isn't fun or easy. And so it's been a really good thing to have all these folks in this room singing together and working together to try and make our world a better place right now. Quick notes in the chat box, my email, if you have comments, questions, or want to be on the list. A big, huge thank you, shout out to Colin K. Bills for managing the tech today. He's also someone who works very closely with Jubilee Voices. There's a donate link in the chat box. If you're able to donate, all the money goes directly to the performing artists who lead us in song. So thank you for that in advance. I'm going to turn today's hosting over to Andrea Blackford, who is the director of the Washington Revels Jubilee Voices. She does a fabulous, amazing, incredible, wonderful job, and they are such a treat to see. And I hope all of you will come see them someday live. Andrea, welcome. Really glad you're here.
Thank you, Jo. It's great to be here and great to be singing with you all today. Today we're going to do one of those old songs. 'Tis the Old Ship of Zion. Now I call it 'Tis the Old Ship of Zion because the concept of a ship that was coming to rescue you and take you away to a better place is an old one. We have, Arthurian legends that tell us about this and Lord of the Rings and other things, but this song holds a special place in the hearts of African Americans. It's part of our African American traditional song book. And this song, as you may have known, during enslavement, was often used as a code. And a code was that there's a ship waiting for you, or there are people waiting for you to take you out of servitude and into freedom. In fact, Harriet Tubman used this song as a clue in a letter she wrote to her brothers who were facing being sold south from their plantation they were working on. She wrote them and told them, look out for the old ship of Zion. She'll be waiting to take you away. Come on board. So we sing this song with that thought of freedom, escape, determination, and perseverance. One final note, this song has a lot of variants and a lot of tunes. This one has a tune you'll be used to and can pick up quickly. So with no further ado, I'm going to have our lovely songbird, Christina, start it off and teach you.
Tis the old ship of Zion, tis the old ship of Zion, tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board. Now you repeat after me. Excuse me. Tis the old ship of Zion, tis the old ship of Zion, tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board.
Jim?
It has landed many a thousand. It has landed many a thousand. It has landed many a thousand. But it's good enough for me. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board. Get on.
Jackie?
There's no danger in the water. There's no danger in the water. There's no danger in the water. Get on board. Get on board.
It was good for my dear mother. It was good for my dear mother. It was good for my dear mother. Get on board, get on board.
It was good for my dear father. It was good for my dear father. It was good for my dear father. Get on board, get on board.
It will lead you home to glory. It will lead you home to glory. It will lead you home to glory. Get on board, get on board.
'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board.
'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board.
Woo!
Woo! Wow. Guys, that was amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And Andrea, your square is a little slower and you were still conducting while I was talking, which is kind of awesome. I like that. I enjoyed being conducted by you there. So I don't know, one of my absolute favorite things is when we have multiple people in multiple squares singing to us. It feels even more like we're really all together singing, like we're in a group and we're all there at the same time. So thank you so much to all of the members of Jubilee Voices that are in the room with us right now. I know there are others. Harold and Andrea, thank you. Christina, thank you. Paulette, Arthuretta, Khadijah, and Jim, and Jackie. I'm super, super glad we have a chance to do that together. And as you know, a lot of times we sing one chorus as we go out. And since it's going to be hard to have everybody sing the chorus, I'm going to suggest Harold and Andrea that you guys do the last chorus before we leave after the discussion. That would be really, really great. So besides the thing that is really great about having lots of different squares, one of the things that's amazing is when two people are in the same room singing together, because then we actually get to hear harmonies which is really fun, or hear the interplay of voices. So all in all, you guys are absolutely hands down one of my favorite places to sing. And it's really great that you're with us today doing this. Andrea, do you have any kinds of discussion topics or questions you wanted to bring up, or invite any of the Jubilee folks to have a little chit chat time?
Any of the Jubilee voices want to contribute something to today's discussion? Personally, I think on this holiest of days in the Jewish calendar, and in this time that we're experiencing and feeling now, this song is really, really relevant. It is one of these things that we do to comfort ourselves and give us hope, is to sing. And think of a ship parting the mists coming, that's going to help save you, help free you. That ship is actually within all of us, but we sing about it to remind us that there is still hope, even when things seem dark. Anyone want to say anything?
I do.
Go ahead.
I know at this time, everybody is really kind of unsettled, but I would like to add something and to sing a quick verse. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Keep the faith, people.
Jackie, thank you. That was absolutely perfect. And we do need to hear that. And it is a Jewish holiday today. And it's also a time where we've just lost an incredible, amazing female figurehead, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, having passed yesterday. And there was actually something about singing Get On Board right now that had a sort of a secondary meaning to me, which is that it's our jobs right now to get on board and do the work that she was doing, and that we all need to pick up. And, you know, that sort of goes the same with T.C. Vivian and John Lewis and all these folks who have left us, who were working really, really hard to see this country be a good place for everyone. And yesterday I said this, and I'm still holding this very much today. It's hard to think of them having to leave our planet at a time when it just seems so grim. And it makes me feel even more responsible for taking what they were doing and really making it happen, so that we don't have a lot of other people that depart our planet in the state that it's currently in. We can make the change. Jim Harkless, I see you waving, and I'd love to hear from you. Jim, you just muted yourself though, so you need to unmute. Okay, Jim, hang on one second. We're trying to unmute. There you go. You're up.
Okay. In connection with the notorious RGB, I used to see her many times at the Kennedy Center during intermissions, and there's a room where people can go and relax during intermissions. I finally got up the courage to go up and something to. She usually was by herself, and she liked to actually just have peanuts. And went up to her and I said, Justice Ginsburg, I've seen you many times. How are you so interested in music? And she just brightened up, smiled, and she said, thank you for asking. She said, you know, I was a little girl in Brooklyn, and I went to music at the conservatory there, and the person who really got me interested in music, and I'm going to ask how many people know this person. I knew him, hardly anybody does. And she says the person was Dean Dixon. Does anybody know who Dean Dixon was? Dean Dixon was the first African-American who tried to be a classical orchestra conductor. And he had to go to Europe in the 30s and 40s for his career. And he then came back to the United States in the 40s and was at that Brooklyn Conservatory. And he's someone we should remember. I share that with everybody.
Go ahead, Paulette. Joe, you're muted if you're talking.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, gang. Go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback on something that was said earlier by Joe about a lot about leaders, our fighters, John Lewis, who have gone on to be with our ancestors. And that it just seemed like this year, 2020, which we all can equate with 2020 is perfect vision. Perfect vision, that's questionable about 2020. But that we should not only look back at the trailblazers such as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but also all the fighters, John Lewis, musicians, all our cultural pioneers and dinosaurs, and just keep looking forward. Because 2020 is perfect vision, but not just looking back at this year, but just to look forward and take what they represented and to keep on pushing and keep on fighting.
Thank you, Paulette. That's really, really great. And yep, there's somebody that came into this room, I'm not going to remember, at some point they pointed, I think it might have been Reggie Harris, who said, we are the next tier. Like we are now the top tier, the people that need to be, as the leaders go, as the older leaders go, we become those leaders that are on that level that have to now lead everybody else. And so we have a lot of responsibility to do that and to hear that and to be that. And to Jim's comment on Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the music, I was going to say, it's always lovely to know that the people that we love for other reasons also share music with us. And I'm betting, Jim, that she was also in so many ways relieved to have you talk to her about her musical interest, because I'm going to bet that 90% of the people who approached her were talking about all of the issues and the politics and the things. So it was probably a very refreshing conversation that she had with you. So is there any other Jubilee Voices folks that would like to raise a hand and say anything? And okay, Khadijah.
Just quickly, because most of what I would have said was already said in terms of the song bringing us back to the importance of ancestors and acknowledging that it was good enough for them. What the struggle, the hope was good enough for them. And I'm hoping that it encourages us to know that what we're going through now is not new. It may take a different phase to it or a different flavor, but there is hope. There is a better place to go forward. And the process through which we do that, as painful and ugly as it may be, it's good enough for us. We can do this. And the ship seems to take the center of the song, but I love how the verses come in and remind us that, yeah, it's the ship that's going to take us, but it's the good enough and the ancestors that have gone before us that proves to us it can be done. They support us in their going away. They support us in the legacy that they left. And because we only see the top of the ship above water, there's lots going on underneath that's gone on before us that keeps us buoyant. And if we can remember that, we can get on board.
Thank you so much, Khadijah. So I think there's a couple of really good chats that I'm going to read right now, but sort of to the point of Mary Eagle's chat, that feels that in so many ways we've never been so clear as we come into this room and sing how much we all share. And we share it with people in Tokyo, and we share it with people in Oregon and Washington, and we share it with each other, not just the love of music, but I'm sorry, but that sense that we're all here looking so hard for more and more ways that we can be part of the much needed solutions. Just a couple quick notes. A lot of thanks in the chat for all the Jubilee Voices members. And Mary Eagle put in, It occurs to me in these times of real multi-layered fear, how blessedly pertinent it is that you, Jackie, a Black woman, can remind your white sisters and brothers that the courage in that verse is there for us too. Thank you. That's very beautiful. Thank you to both of you. And then just a quick one, somebody, Jane Freeman posted in that Reggie said, and this was the quote that I was trying to say, hope y'all have been taking notes because we're up, which is much more eloquent than the way that I said it. Hope y'all have been taking notes because we are up. And we're up. It's true. We're up. And on that note, Andrea and Harold, you're up. Would you mind singing the verse one more time to close us out of the room? And then we'll say our goodbyes.
Will do. Ready, huh?
'Tis the old ship of Zion, 'tis the old ship of Zion, 'tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board. 'Tis the old ship of Zion, 'tis the old ship of Zion. 'Tis the old ship of Zion. Get on board, get on board.
Thank you so much, Andrea and Harold. Thank you so much, Christina. Thank you, Paulette. Thank you, Arthuretta. Thank you, Khadijah. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Jackie, for a tremendous, tremendous Sunday of singing together. I can't think of a better way to go out into this day than having sat in this room with 50 of you and sung through those verses and had this discussion. You are all a part of our community, and we are all here needing each other day after day. And it's tremendous, tremendous, tremendous to know that you're coming back and singing with us every day and finding a lot of the same strength that we are all sharing and giving to each other. Huge hugs and thank yous to everybody. Goodbye to everybody on Facebook Live. And thank you so much for joining us.